They will go and holler at a low quality woman, just because they want to get it in.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Damn, Perk did this? I don't need no one to save me. I was born to be the greatest. All that time in that basement, all that time isn't wasted. Rapping getting faded. I just wanna tell my mom that I made it. Just wanna be the topic of the conversation. Used to rock the gold plated. Now I'm wearing gold chains like I'm famous.
Why do we, us men, our men continue to keep going to environments where they're running into disrespectful black women?
It's complex, man, because, a lot of it without going back into some history, I've done a couple videos on my channel about, I pulled up a video from 1986 where they had these young girls on the panel and they were like, hey, well, and I think they had children. They said, hey, you ever think you're going to get married to the dude? And they were like, nah, I don't need no dude. And this was in 1986. Fast forward to the day, right? Kind of what King K and D talked about, I kind of have a different stance on this, right? Like I date based on what I like and how I'm being treated. And I don't care what she looked like, right? I've dated, you could put pins in all over the country, all over the world. You can put pins all over this country, all over the country. I'm in the state right now helping my mom's out, what I mean? So I'll leave again. But I've lived in 7 states. I've done 5 cross-country road trips. I've been to 40 of the 50 states. And the 10 that I haven't been to, you don't want to go. So I've been all over this country. I've been to damn near every major city, if not lived in most of the major cities. And so I think we have to, I just remember how things were prior to social media. Prior to social media, I think dating was still kind of normal. I think that you could still go on a regular date. I'm not saying things weren't changing, but social media over the last 20 years, I'm in my 40s now. Social media has changed so much, right? How we're being influenced by, like there's certain things they won't even show them in China that we get showed here on TV and stuff like that. They won't even let them see certain negative things, but you see it all the time in our community, right? We're worshiping the wrong things. And so for me, I hate to be selfish about this, but that's kind of why I said you got to know what you want and the self-work. So I've been through 2 divorces, and I got married really young, and then I kind of got my hand forced on the second one. I wasn't going to do it, but I got my hand forced. And so for me, I look at this and then I got into a car accident sometime after the second one. I split, and then it kind of had a reset switch for me. And I needed to get my life back on. I'm bringing this up to say this. I realize that we have one life, and I don't really care who's in front of me. It could be a beautiful Latino, African, whatever. I don't care. Like, if you're going to treat me the way I want to be treated, I'm going to rock with you. But here's the thing. Right now, I'm following my dreams. I'm following the dreams of that 17-year-old. So there's a lot of people that put so much stock into these women and not putting stock in what they want. What about putting stock in, hey, let me actually invest in stocks so that when I have my family later, we have something to fall back on, or we have generational wealth to leave. So as you said, from an economic standpoint, I look at it that way. I'm trying to leave something behind for my family. That's where my mindset is now, right? And in the same time, I get to have some fun while I'm traveling. And that's kind of where I look at it. As far as what's going on in the community, I think I agree with everybody on the panel, man. Men gotta figure out what they want, and really, when it comes to being a man, You just kind of got to go through it. You know what I mean? But you can't shy away from it, and you can't be scared. These dudes are scared out here, man.
I think the question was, why do men continuously go back to toxic women and to women? We keep going back to women who continue to disrespect us. And I think it's just a matter of lack of self-worth. Like you were alluding to, Sean, you were alluding to self-worth, and a lot of men, you know, we've normalized, whether you were raised by a single mother or you just were dealing with toxicity. We were raised and we normalized toxic behavior where you yelling, you disrespecting somebody, we're looking forward to the makeup, sex, etc. That's just a lack of self-worth. Like a lot of us didn't grow up with our fathers. And if we did, if you did, maybe your father was a simp, or you know, he was paying and he felt guilty and shit for being, you know, getting caught out there. So a lot of men don't value themselves. And this is why my contribution to the space and being unapologetically masculine is extremely important, because it's important for us to let men know that you got to put some value into yourself. So once you put value into yourself, everything else kind of falls into place, right? When you respect yourself, a woman has no choice to either respect you or not. If she's gonna, you know what I mean? If you're not the type of person that tolerates disrespect, or you don't let shit slide, you don't yell, you don't tolerate a woman cursing at you and shit, those are called your standards. See, a lot of guys are talking about standards and things that they need to get and attract women. Nobody's really putting a focus on being able to have standards for yourself. Because the game, I know Lucario says this a lot, the game has nothing to do with women. So when we talk about game and having standards, that applies to colleagues, other men, business partners, etc. People that you talk to and interact with. You have to have standards for yourself. So when you have standards for yourself and you respect yourself, you carry yourself with respect, anyone around you, whether it's a man or a female, has to respect you. So when you normalize, when you don't respect yourself, you attract what you are. See, a lot of these guys listen to YouTube and shit, and they think that they alpha and shit. They think they super chat, and they got a couple of coaching sessions. So now they think that they can just lead a relationship or be in an environment where a woman's going to respect them. But respect has to be earned. It's got to be earned amongst ourselves, got to be earned amongst women. And how do we do that? How do I get credit in this space? I got to keep grinding, keep putting out content so a nigga can say, all right, you know what? He's official. He's really serious about this. Same thing with a woman. A woman's not just going to get in here and get access to all your personal information because she got a fat ass and titties. She has to earn that. This is what we talk about, rewarding a woman, letting a woman earn her place with you. So before you decide to make her your main, you have to have, she's got to go through a rigorous routine to see whether or not she's worthy. So this is why a lot of guys want to smash women. They don't put value on their dick. They don't put value on their time. They don't put value in their identity because they don't have anything to fall onto. They're relying so much on men on the internet as opposed to really deciding who they want to be and just being that. So when you, at the end of the day, and I'll leave it at this, respect yourself so that way you can demand respect and you can normalize respect. We got to start normalizing self-respect before we can actually expect anyone to respect us.
Men don't, respect themselves, and they don't put respect on their dick, because that's the truth. The truth is that like they will go and holler at a low quality woman, just because they want to get it in. Like if you look on Instagram, you see a woman, she got half her ass out or whatever, and you see so many dudes in the comments saying, "You're so beautiful." What do you mean she's beautiful? She got half her ass out. You could barely see her face. How is she beautiful? No, but I'm just saying, like, they just selling themselves short, and they're not showing respect for themselves. So, I just wanted to say that last part.
And now we're going to go ahead and talk about this dick control. So if you're basically always traveling for casual sex, or just a desire for travel, for casual sex, is that basically, self-disrespect? Also, are we pedestalizing women way too much, whether it's foreign women or just the local women? Just the fact that we always just trying to smash. You get the calls all the time. Trying to smash. But like he said, it could be a low quality woman. But, to each his own, it's subjective. Right. But just the energy you're putting into chasing casual sex is that self-disrespect.
I would say it like this. To want to have casual sex, there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. The self-disrespect comes in when you do it at the expense of you and your principles. So, for example, if I'm willing to deal with a woman who's on some BS just to get some, then that's disrespect, because now I'm not putting any respect on my dick, any respect on myself, because I'm willing to go above and beyond for this woman who's not respecting me, or who's not listening to what I'm saying, and who's not following my directions just to get some sex. So a lot of guys, what happens is they'll do that type of thing in order to acquire the sex. You see what I'm saying? So I think that within itself is a disrespect. It's not necessarily the pursuit or the desire for casual sex within itself. It's more so the who you're doing it with and why it's happening. So a guy could have casual sex one time in 2 years, but if that one woman he had casual sex with was like disrespecting him and playing him and putting him through the ringer, and he was like allowing himself to be disrespected, that's him disrespecting himself through that situation. But a dude could have sex with 100 women, but if all 100 of those women were actually following his lead, were respecting him, was listening to what he's saying, then it's all good. So it all depends on is this woman respecting that particular man? And I think the problem is that a lot of guys, what happens is that, and this is what I talk about a lot, is that you're going to get more of that respect from women when you are the type of guy who has those actual standards set in place, so that those women will see, okay, he's the type of guy not to be fucked with. Because like what AV was saying earlier, he was saying that people have to earn it. Right. A man also has to earn his attractiveness. So a lot of times the reason why these guys have issues with women out here in these streets is because they haven't earned their attractiveness to be the guy that most women would cooperate with.
Boom.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
These women don't owe us no damn,
nothing.
I'm not used to cursing them.
Nah, you good. It was real inclusive, baby.
Wait, they don't owe you no pussy, man. They don't owe you no pussy. Right? Like they're, oh my God, the damn simps, bro, is messing up the game. Listen, if we don't like the way that women or the modern women is acting and stuff like that, part of that, if we all took a stand and had dick control, right, then the market would have to change. If dudes weren't simping on a girl on paying thousands of dollars on OnlyFans to see a bunch of feet, if dudes weren't clicking on these damn IG accounts because a girl have her ass out, if she wasn't getting the validation, these women would have to change their behavior in order to get the attention of men. And that's not, so I'm not going to take total blame off dudes. If anything, I try to put the medicine in the messy, but I hope, and I definitely need to do a video about this, but we need to talk about these guys out here simping and messing it up too. You know what I mean?
When you're here in the States hollering, it's like playing Madden on Hall of Fame mode. Because if you could pull here, you don't have to pull anywhere else, because they just see you're just attracting now, So let me go ahead and ask you this. So going into the simp area, is that that's really what's causing the disconnect in this whole conversation? I know we have the algo on YouTube and all that other stuff, but are the simps really the ones talking about just get your passports? Because how do we know that you're even grabbing out there? And I'm not saying, I just want to say this too to everybody. Look, I'm not opposed to anybody traveling, for the booty. You do you. I just have a problem with you telling everybody else the reason why they need to get their passports too, because not everybody is having as much trouble as you are. We are cool here, and if we do travel, we just gonna go for the food. We probably really ain't gonna holler at nobody. I know I'm not. I'm married, But are the simps really the ones that's causing the ruckus? Is the simps with the passports? Is it really as easy over there overseas to holler as everybody thinks? Because I think it's misleading, unfortunately.
If you are a shark in the States, you're going to be a shark overseas, right? So now, will I say that women are more approachable? And I think that is what really needs to be said, that they're more approachable. Like I think it was Sean. I think it might have been Sean, or it was Miss Lucario. I'm not sure.
He said they were a little bit more polite about it if they reject you.
Yeah, it was. I think so. That was Sean. Okay, my bad. But but yeah, right. So I, in that sense, it's easier to approach, but if they're not feeling you, they are going to reject you, but they're going to reject you with a smile, as opposed to over here, like you come up and try to holler at a woman and she like, ew, nigga, like get out of here. You know what I mean? So like, you're not going to find that overseas. Now, I will say, to be direct, I believe that it is a combination of pandering, and also it's a combination of men being disingenuous. You know, as I stated early in the conversation, like if if you're not able to have a conversation with a woman in the United States, or be able to, converse, and get her without having to pay for play, then you go overseas, you're gonna have a problem if you're not able to do that. And so the thing about it is that yes, you can use your money, you can pay for play, but like not all brothers want to pay for play. Some brothers do actually want to have a genuine connection.
I like to hunt my meat. I like to hunt for my food.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm the same way. So a little bit of story of me. So I grew up in New York City. I live in Massachusetts now. And so growing up, I have been throwing parties and throwing events since I was 14 years old. So before Instagram and all that, so like I had to sell flyers and tickets. So I had to talk to women, and that's how I was able to, build my game up. So I'm comfortable talking to women. I can do the cold approach and all that stuff, right? And so,
Lucario, he said he could do the cold approach. Cold approach is not dead. Okay.
No, but see, I've also said that dating, like when I hear that dating coaches are not needed, like that upsets me, because that's disingenuous. Okay. And especially now, not to kind of go beside my point, but also what's happening now overseas is that like they're getting the Netflix, they're getting the Hulus, and you know what's happening? The westernized ideals are starting to come in their head, the feminism and all that stuff. So what's going to happen now? So dating coaches are starting now. If I'm a dating coach, I'm like, hey, you know what? These brothers want to travel overseas, and now feminism is traveling over there. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna take my show internationally. That's what I would do. But to go back into what you were saying, are the simps messing the game up? I'm gonna say it's part of that. It's part pandering, and it's part being disingenuous. But also, I think that some of the passport brothers feel slighted by the dating coaches, because some of the dating coaches that they watched and actually gave them the confidence to get a passport, and then like they see some of the dating coaches, it's like, oh well, you guys are just leaving, and you guys are just taking a cheat code, and it's like, well, damn, I used to watch y'all, so now you dissing me, now I gotta clap back. You understand what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Because it's like you look up to Jordan your whole life, and then you try to take Jordan hand, and Jordan like, nah, bro, I don't even rock with you. And it's like, oh, now I got to dunk on you now. You know what
I mean? Jordan would do that though.
Yeah, no, I know. I gotta let Lucario go ahead and take on this one, because and I heard that before, and I saw that in comment after comment after comment. Yeah, them dating coaches are in trouble. Yeah, you guys are losing clients because of the passport. Go ahead, Lucario, eat them alive. What the hell you got to say to that? Because I have seen zero evidence of any of that shit. Folks act like we ain't had a pandemic and shit got shut down.
I have clients from all around the world. So that's the funny part about it, is that, I have clients in Brazil, in Germany, in Australia, all these other places that's not the US. So it's like, it's interesting that it's been a thing. So my whole thing is, and to even answer the question about the whole sim thing, I think that the simps don't, it's a yes and no thing. So a simp can make the game harder, because what happens is that because so many guys are simping, right? That's going to make it to where women are going to get spoiled. And then so if you a dude who's on point, then you're going to have to work harder in some situations. You see what I'm saying? But if you're the type of guy who has game, then it's not going to necessarily matter, because you're going to be able to do whatever you need to do to get what you want to get. But I think the whole thing with what King of Dreams is saying about the passport guys feeling a certain way but slighted about the dating coaches is because with the dating coaches, we never said anything is wrong with going overseas and all that other stuff. It just became a thing where when a person says, well, they was like dating coaches are obsolete now, so like it's like statements like that. That was just
okay. So you're saying sorry not to cut you, but you're saying the Passport Bros took the first shot.
Well, that's how I heard it. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, definitely a miscommunication because they're saying that dating coaches took the first shot, but I'm just like
miscommunication. There you go.
Yeah, it's
that's all I heard. I'm like, where's this coming from? I teach specifically I teach masculinity and manhood. So even when I talk about tricking, I say, yo, if that's what you want to do it because you're a man. So you're supposed to do anything you want to do in this life because you're a man. So that falls under going overseas and doing what you do. But the only issue was that I had dudes who were Passport Bros. They were saying, yo, we got receipts. But I'm like, you're showing me a receipt of a prostitute. So it's like, it's not the same thing. So I think there was a miscommunication of you can't say you're, working in the game as far as pulling a woman who desires you if you're paying. You see what I'm saying? So it's that like, up and down. So that was kind of like the issue. So it's like this. It's like if somebody, like if I was a mathematician and you said, yo, 2 + 2 is 79. I'm gonna have an issue with that. You understand what I'm saying? So the thing is, so that's what I'm saying, where there were certain things that were said that I was like, no, that's not it. And then it was sort of like spreading around. You know what I'm saying? So
how easy is it, scale from 1 to 10, or just in your own experience? How easy is it pretty much just to be upfront and honest that you just want to have sex and not date to a woman overseas? We call it mode 1, which is shout out to Alan Roger Curry. So if anybody knows him, you know what I mean? It's like, can anybody really just go a mode 1 on a chick overseas?
I think that's a misconception.
Really?
And the reason it's a misconception is because I made it a point that I didn't want to talk to people to give them the wrong impression, because usually, and it's not just, it's in countries all over the world, Europe, South America, Asia, whatever. If you go on more than like a date with a woman, like all my boys that travel came back with girlfriends, because if you go on more than one date, that's your girlfriend.
Really?
You know what I mean? Yeah, man. Like, listen, are there guys that go over, hit and quit or whatever? I'm sure there are. But most of those women are, once they with you, they're not trying to have, it's not like Western culture where everybody just smashing and dashing, right? We have this sexual culture where it's just a hit and run right now, right? But in these other countries, like if they're going to give you the time, they most likely interested and want to be with you, right? And I'm not saying that's all women, because again, you got to watch yourself out there too. You got to be smart about what you're doing out there too, because there are people that will use you. Like they trying to make it seem like dudes don't get used. And I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but I'm saying if you're talking to the average woman and you're trying to get in there, she's going to expect more, because that's just not their culture. They have a family-based culture, right? And it's not as they are more conservative in that approach. At least that's what I found to happen, right? So I think, and I said this on one of my live streams, if you think you're going to go over there and just smash and dash, like that's just not the way they work. At least the good ones. Matter of fact, a girl who just allows you to smash and dash, who's that quick and that easy, guard your pockets. Where's your passport? Where's the stuff in your room? Did you cover your drink? Did your drink come with you the whole time? Like, those are the things you got to look out for. You know what I mean? And so I listen, if you're going to pay for play, I ain't got a problem with that. That's what you do. That ain't my thing, but that's what you do. Go ahead and do it. We got to be honest here. The thing I think that Passport Brothers get upset about the dating coaches or whoever it is that's coming at the Passport Bros at this moment is to think that all guys are just going over there just to hit like that. And I know you said you talked about the receipts thing. Let me see if I can, yeah. So personally, I don't know about you guys, but when I roll, unless you with me, I roll in silence.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like I ain't gotta announce to you what I'm doing. Am I happy? Hey man, Sean, look happy. Obviously his life is going well. You know what I mean? I ain't gotta advertise all I've done. I look, the people that know. You can pull women here, and I think part of the problem with pulling women here is for us guys that don't have a problem, you could go ahead and pull women here. That's not the issue. The issue is, are you going to be able to find somebody that you can, if you're looking for a long-term relationship, can you find that in the States? And I don't believe you can nowadays, because women they don't know how to be wives. Hell, how many women have y'all come across that don't even know how to cook? I know all the dudes I roll with, they all can cook. I'm talking about burn. You see what I'm saying? But I've come across women like, oh, I don't know how to cook, or I don't cook that much, or this, that, and the third. So, there's just things, and even if you talk about a power couple, both people got to be able to cook. Like, hey, I'll cook, but can you? Well, nah, then this is not an equal marriage. What is this power couple you speak of? Right? I think another thing you see with the women in the States too, the problem that I have with modern women is that it's like, I want to be a power couple. It's like, okay, let's do that. What are we doing toward our future? No, are you going to buy me this and do that and the third? Our women have been fed into the capitalistic mindset. So that's the other problem. So if you are looking for long-term, you are looking for a wife here, you can't find that quality. Is that you going to buy her that Birkin? No, why don't we invest this money so we have money for our family in the future, right? So my problem with women in the States, I don't think that it's they're you can't pull them or they're unapproachable to talk to. I just think that their mindset isn't for someone that's looking for more, looking for marriage, looking for a family. They're just, to me, not family minded. That's just me.
I will say that there is a strong percentage of them that they want to be married, but they don't know how to be wives. So that's the thing. Like, they want the ring, but they don't want to do the work. And shout out to the late great Kevin Samuels, but like this is one of the things that he would talk about, and these women would call his show. And shout out to you, Miss LaCar. I actually watched you and Miles Cunningham last week Friday. Man, you guys were funny last week Friday. That was good. But the thing about it is that like there are some women in westernized, and I'm not just talking about the sisters, I'm talking about all women westernized.
Yes.
That they have this ideal of what the power couple is supposed to be. You have a high power job, I have a high power job, but we have a high power business. But I don't think that that's really the true essence of what a power couple really is. A power couple is a family that's actually building something. But the thing about it is that, okay, if we're trying to build a legacy for our children, and I'm working 14 hours, she's working 14 hours, and we're basically paying someone to watch our children. We're not, our children are being raised by people who aren't even us.
Right.
And that's where a lot of the problems come. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole because I don't want but that's the show for another time. But but you guys know what I'm getting at, right?
Yeah,
and so the thing about it is that that's one of the reasons why brothers travel overseas. Not the brothers that's mongering. I'm talking about the brothers that's looking for something genuine, right? And that's why brothers do travel overseas. And just kind of what Mr. Lucario was saying. Like if brothers are sending like pictures or whatever, and that's a woman that he had to pay for, like it's cool, but that's not like, you don't really get props for that. That's like, you know what I mean? That's like, that's just like doing a layup and nobody defended you. You know what I mean? Making a layup but nobody defended you. Like you didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Right.
That's not, now if you say, hey, you know what, man, I was talking to her for like 3-4 months. Oh, she bad. Okay, you know what, you pulled that. That's dope. But if it's like, all right, like, man, I just went to the Philippines or Thailand or whatever, and I got like 4 chicks in the bed, but you paid all 4 chicks. It's like, that's cool, you did your thing, but that's not genuine.
I look at it the other way around as far as women being wifey material. Is that I did a video years ago. I said that I was basically saying girlfriend and wifey material, like there's no such thing, because you have to create your girlfriend and wife. So what I mean is that a lot of times what happens is we're looking for women to come ready made, but most of them are not going to be that. So you have to be able to basically train that woman to be that, or be the type of guy she wants to be that for. So you look at it like this, most people would want to work for Google, and most people probably wouldn't care to work for McDonald's. You understand what I'm saying? So what happens is that the fact where you have some people that are actually feeding to work for Google, the reason why they want to work for Google is because Google is that top prestigious company, which is why they're clamoring to work for that company. And then they're willing to do whatever Google says to stay inside the company of Google. Whereas if you're, McDonald's is kind of like, whatever, I'll just take it if I'm need extra money, and I'll just quit whenever. It doesn't make a difference. So what happens is a lot of guys don't vet women and have the incentive. The women don't have an incentive to be that woman for that guy. You understand what I'm saying? And that's the issue that comes along with a lot of this stuff is that you have guys out there who they're not the guy because they're saying, okay, I want a girl to be wifey material, but the girl is not looking at the guy as husband material. You see what I'm saying? And so this is why you have a bunch of women who will sort of wild out and be like whatever because the guy they're talking to isn't that guy. But if he is that guy, she's going to say, okay, he is that guy. What do I need to do to stay with him? What do I need to do to stick with him? I don't know how to cook, but I will learn how to cook to stay with him. You see what I'm saying? So it's that type of thing where it's just based off that particular guy. So that's why with me, this is why I teach guys to be that guy. You see what I'm saying? So then
I just want to push back real quick. So I know we got to go. But you have a bunch of hardworking men out there, right, that are electricians and they're plumbers and they're doing things and they're making good money, right? They're guys that own their own businesses. But the women today, because I told you that capitalistic mindset, they don't want that guy. Now, yes, listen, he may have a McDonald's and he may say, I'm going to train you up on this McDonald's way. But if he is the owner of that franchise, the dude is still pulling hundreds of thousands of dollars. He still has worth or value. If he pulls you up to assistant manager, you're still there helping him build that business. And so maybe he has one McDonald's now, but he can franchise out and he gets bigger. Yes, it's a McDonald's. It isn't prestigious. It's the plumbers, the lawyers, not the plumbers, the electricians, the people that's working hard that make this society go. There's still good men out there. But these women are looking for the six-figure dude. They're looking for the Google dude. You know what I mean?
I agree with you. There are good men out there too. But the problem is, I think a lot of times guys think being a good man.
Yeah. Sorry, I know I said. Sorry, real quick. I'm sorry to go. Yeah, good man is that's a whole nother topic too.
All I'm saying is that the woman who sees the guy as the top guy, she's going to adhere to what he says. Period. And so I think the problem is that we have a lot of guys who think they're the top guy, but they're not the top guy.